Yeah, it's been amazing in Mexico. I don't know, whether it. I don't want to sound funny or rude, but we had such a difficult time in South America where it was just kind of shitty, and like the hotel was really gross and it almost like haunted. Like everyone was afraid of their room, and then to fly from that to this and to be treated so well and have everyone be so kind to us was really very welcoming and very much needed after about 2 weeks on the road. So it's been a really, really amazing experience. Even from booking the show to people's reaction to the show being booked, and just to talking to people, whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. Like this idea that we've been a band now for 20 years in 2013, and the first time ever we're coming to Mexico, and people care and people are excited. That's really an honorable position for us to be in. So we're just kind of taking it all in and walking around with big smiles on our faces.
And what you stand for?
Yeah, I mean, there really shouldn't be anyone that doesn't know us because we're very famous. Lady Gaga, we write all of her songs for her. So, Anti-Flag is a band that believes in a community of people that are against racism, against sexism, against homophobia, and against nationalism, and that's what the band's name means. Seeing each other not as color of skins or Mexican or Americans, or just seeing each other as human beings, not even men and women or gay and straight. I think that too often we're in situations, whether it's at school or at work or even at dinner tables at our parents' houses, you kind of feel afraid to be yourself and feel alone. And so when we started the band, we wanted to make sure that every show we played was an inclusion, and people could be themselves and be accepted for who they are, and realize that there are other people that are just like them in the world. And that's what the band is. I think that it's one of those things where if your sound doesn't get a little bit better after playing for 20 years, then you probably should have quit at some point. We play a lot of shows. This is one of the most toured years of our band's life. I think we're at like 160, 170 days on the road this year. So based on that, that's a lot of practice. So I'd like to believe that we're better musicians than we were 19 years ago. So you're going to have some influences change. You're going to be inspired by new and different things throughout the cycle and history of the band. So I think that there comes that. But when I reference just our most recent record, it's called The General Strike, I know that there was a lot of us listening to the records that made us want to play music in the first place, and kind of getting back into that headspace as to why we play guitars and drums and jump around like assholes on stage. I think that the record might not sound like the first album because of that, but it's definitely born out of the same inspirations and having the same goals of creating this scene and this community of people that are cool and comfortable with themselves. And I think that it's a travesty that people wake up in the morning, they turn on the television, it tells them if you don't have this pair of pants, you know it's going to fuck you. If you don't have this pimple cream, no girl's going to like you. If you don't have this new cool technological gadget, then all your friends are going to make fun of you. And I really don't think you need any of that bullshit. I think you just need to walk out the door and do what makes you happy. It's interesting because even when that song was written, I don't think we had been overseas nearly as much as we have been now. So as a band, I definitely mark our first trip to Europe as a life-changing moment for the band. To have these songs where you say, hey, these people that live in Europe are just like us, but we had never been there. We didn't know. We were just assuming, To have it actually shown to us that these people aren't not different at all, and that the kid in Berlin had a very similar style and upbringing than I did, and now we're finding that out in Mexico City for the first time as well. Very little, un poquito. Well, I think that if I had a message to anyone, and especially people of Latin America, it's just that you live in a very special and beautiful place, and that we visited Costa Rica on this trip, we visited now Mexico City on this trip, and I'm going to be telling my friends that play music to come here, because of your geography, you shouldn't be punished and not having the bands that you want to see. We've been taken care of better tonight than we have in a very long time, and that's amazing, because like I said, we've been a band for a very long time, and we've met a lot of different people, and we've been to a lot of new cities. To come to Mexico City and have people show up with vegan tacos and things like that, that's incredible. So for us, we just want to make sure that everyone who sees this knows that we are tremendously humbled and honored and privileged to be here, and we will never take that for granted. And if you ever meet one of us and we seem grumpy, it's only because we've probably been sleeping in a band for too long. And but if you come back and talk to us a little bit later, we'll probably be much nicer to you. But most of the time, we're pretty nice guys. So yeah, thanks, and see you soon.